we're going to have a Security Council discussion on Sudan. The UK condemns the coup outright, and we are condemning and very concerned by the violence, in particular the recent reports about beatings of women and girls. And we want to see the release of all those who've been detained, in particular Prime Minister Hamdok. But fundamentally, 2 years ago, the people of Sudan put their lives on the line for democracy, and they should not have to do so again. So we'll see what we can do in our discussions this afternoon.
Are you expecting a statement? Will there be a statement?
I think the Security Council has been very clear in the past about our support for the constitutional arrangements, for the democratic transition, and the purpose of this afternoon's discussion is to discuss how we can best move forward here and see where we agree.
Ambassador, this morning the Secretary General made some remarks about the Security Council and how it hasn't always been able to come together to act to deter events like this coup and the other, he called an epidemic of coups. What's your sort of response to that?
So up until now, I think we've managed to have Sudan as almost a cause for optimism among the Security Council, and we have managed to reach consensus. So the most important thing we have to do this afternoon is work, as I say, in support of the people of Sudan who put their lives on the line for democracy and shouldn't have to do so again. So I hope to update you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Ambassador.
Hi, good afternoon. We find this meeting very timely in the Council this afternoon. We, of course, as Norway, strongly condemned the ongoing military coup in Sudan. And we have called for the immediate release of Prime Minister Hamdok and all other detainees in Sudan. We're extremely concerned about the reports of the use of violence against peaceful protesters, and we will mention that in our statement today. The right to peaceful assembly must be respected in Sudan, and Norway has also, as a part of the Troika with the US and UK, we have issued a statement and we will continue to support democratic Sudan with a fully legitimate civilian government.
What steps can the Council take that can be meaningful to reverse the situation?
No, we certainly hope for a good meeting with good, strong statements, and we hope that the Council can speak with one voice and have a product today.
Are you getting any word, Ambassador, about the status of the Prime Minister? Some officials have said he's back home and has always been. Do you know anything about that?
We don't have any confirmed information of where he is. We just have expressed again and again that we hope for his immediate release so the democratic process in the Sudan can continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This afternoon. Estonia, together with several other council members, has called for this consultation today for obvious reasons to condemn the military coup that has taken place in Sudan and to urge for the restoration of the civilian government and return towards the path to democracy. Putting the Prime Minister, other ministers, and also civil society leaders under essentially house arrest or detaining them is entirely unacceptable. And the use of military against protesters, which has resulted in deaths, is entirely unacceptable, and that is why we're gathering here today. Thank you.
Thanks, Ambassador.
Hello, everybody.
Do you think the Security Council should take some action on this coup in Sudan?
To stop the violence from all the sides. That's the most important thing. And I'm looking forward to listen to the reports, what's happening there on the ground.
And this morning the Secretary General said that the Security Council hasn't taken enough action to deter coups. He said there's been an epidemic of coups. What's your response to that?
Usually Secretary General doesn't criticize Security Council because we are different powers, I would say. Well, I understand that he's extremely worried, as everybody is.
Do you think the criticism is justified?
Are you hearing anything about the Prime Minister or about the detentions or about some future of a civilian military?
Not at this point. Not at this point. That's what we are going to find out right now.
So, Ambassador, when you say the violence, do you think that the Council can say anything about the violence, anything about the whole situation?
I think the Council should say something about the violence because violence is unacceptable from all sides. That's our main message as far as I understand.
Do you consider, thank you, Ambassador, do you consider what's happened in Sudan as a coup or do you see it differently?
It's difficult to say is it a coup or not because coup has a concrete definition. There are situations like this in many states, in many parts of the world, and they're not being called coup. So we need to look at it. I don't know. I don't know. Change of power, sometimes it is called. So we need to see. It's up to Sudanese to decide whether it's a coup or not a coup. So,
But it was a forcible change of power, not a agreed upon change of power.
there was a forcible change of power in 2019 in Sudan. Was it called a coup?
It wasn't a military takeover. It was the will of the people in the streets. It wasn't a military.
The military were part of the government as well. And there was a violence before and after the current change of power. So this is more delicate than this. I don't think it's our task to label such situations coup or not coup. Well, you know our position of what happened in Ukraine in 2014. We think it's a coup. So, yeah.
Ambassador, you've been engaged on a text. I heard there is a draft statement, maybe under discussion.
Can you share it with me?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. That, neither did I.
What's your best hope for what the...
Statement or draft statement, or you haven't engaged?
I knew that there were certain ideas, but I haven't seen anything on paper so far.
What's your best hope for what the UN Security Council can do, given the fact that the special envoy apparently wasn't told that there was going to be a coup when he met with the government a day before?
So what should I comment on? His words about the coup?
No, I mean, what can the UN
Maybe he
do?
has a crystal ball, I didn't. So,
What can the UN do? Security
first and foremost, UN should appeal to stop the violence and to resume dialogue. That's the most important thing.
And do you agree with the U.S. cutoff of aid, of humanitarian aid?
No, I don't, because we need to assist Sudan in any case in transition. Yeah.
What do you mean then? If you don't see what's happening as a coup and you talk about violence, what is violence?
I think that maybe we have different approaches on what is the coup, but I don't think we are different on what is the violence. When people are being killed, when there are demonstrations, when there are attacks, doesn't matter on military, on the policemen, on the civil population. This is unacceptable. So violence should stop. Violence is violence.
Do you agree that the military is attacking and killing people on the streets in Sudan? This is the videos that has been getting, according also to human rights.
As far as I understand, not only military are attacking, so the demonstrators are also attacking. Violence should stop from all sides.
Demonstrators attacking who?
Military?
They are protesting. They don't have arms.
Okay, as far as I see they are not peacefully protesting. There are also violent protests, and there has always been violent protests. So all kind of violence should stop. That's the basic point. I thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Come and talk to us after. Sorry? Come and talk to us afterwards.
I think the situation is very controversial. There were some pieces of news that he didn't even know how to comment, so the situation is developing very rapidly. So we need to follow it.
Do you think the Council can agree a statement?
It takes 15 to tango in Security Council.
Sorry?
It takes 15 to tango in Security Council, so
So are you tangoing?
absolutely, with the others.
What is it, Ambassador, that you and the U.S. agree on?
Sorry?
What do you agree with the U.S. and the U.K. on with regard to Sudan? That violence on both sides should stop, that there may have been a transition but not a
I think
coup?
it's too premature to tell it. Let's let's work on some document, and then we'll see what we agree on, okay? We agree on that we are all preoccupied on what's happening in Sudan. That's the most important thing. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.